It is a breaking news coming out of the Vatican at 7:18 this morning. A surprise to the Vatican and a surprise to the Roman Catholic Church, with Pope Benedict XVI announcing that he will resign at the end of the month, citing that his health of mind and body that is necessary is just not there and has deteriorated in the last month.
We do have live team coverage. Joining us on the phone right now is Father Joseph Lorenzo. He's the pastor at the Church of St. Anthony in Soho. Thank you, Father, for joining us.
Hi, good morning. Thank you.
All right, so your initial reaction when you heard about this?
Total shock, I guess. Didn't see it coming. You know, it hasn't been done in hundreds of years, and really shocked about it.
Well, it certainly left the Vatican in a frenzy this morning, with reports that even the Pope's closest aides had no idea this was coming. Normally, they know how to deal with this in the death of a Pope, and usually they can prepare. But in this case, since this hasn't happened since 1450, in over 600 years, there is certainly going to be the scurry for them as far as thinking about and electing the Pope's successor.
Yeah, well, at least the Holy Father gave them a little more time as far as preparation for, a conclave in March to elect a new Pope.
Father, can you talk about what this means to your parishioners and what this means to the Church, especially how a lot of it is declining in Europe and then growing in parts of Latin America and Africa? So what kind of message does this send?
Well, I think, in thinking about what's happened, hire the Holy Father because I think he understood that his health was declining and maybe he couldn't do the job anymore. I think about Pope John Paul II, who, really looked bad in his last few years. And, when things like this happen, it creates a power vacuum, and maybe you have other people that are making decisions where the Pope should be making the decisions. So, if that's his judgment, I admire him for it.
But you can't ignore the tough times that the Catholic Church has been in recent years. As you mentioned, Sukanya, declining attendance, declining those who want to actually join the priesthood. And then you think about the scandal in the past years as far as the sex abuse scandals and the cover-up that the Roman Catholic Church has been involved with. In this case, you're looking at as far as kind of a vacuum of leadership during the time that this resignation is going to take in effect.
Yes, but the Church has been through a lot worse than this in its 2,000-year history. There was a time when there were actually 3 popes reigning at the same time, and I'm sure God will bring us through, whatever is going on. And I would hope from this also would grow maybe a new sense of openness in the Church, where we could look at the past and say, we didn't do everything the right way.
Can we leave with a final thought of what you will be telling your parishioners today as they start hearing word about Pope Benedict and his resignation?
Well, I think I would say what I usually say, and that is pray for the Church and pray for the Pope and pray that the cardinals may be guided to bring great leadership in the Church from whoever they elect.
All right. Thank you, Father Lorenzo, joining us, the pastor of Church of St. Anthony in Soho, giving us some perspective on this breaking news that we've been following very closely, the resignation of Pope Benedict. Of course, the fallout. Joe Zwilling, who's also the spokesperson for the Archdiocese here in New York, I'm sure he'll be having a comment, as well as Cardinal Dolan. We'll be following that.
Sure, certainly a name that has popped up in the past as far as a successor. We'll be sure to keep you updated throughout the morning. We'll be back after the break.